Hello and good evening, everyone. This is an emergency broadcast. I'm here with Mal from Islamic Origins. And for those of you who don't know him, Mal does incredible work, groundbreaking work, very original work on the origins of Islam, certainly creative theories, that things that he's been chasing for years, and also has worked with many big names like Jay Smith, which, of course, his own creative work, his own original work, and working with Jay, of course, has also caused some controversy, and he's received some arrows, and I think he's here to tell us about some recent events. And yeah, Mel, welcome.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on. Well, this is a live stream that I really didn't want. This is not something I wanted to be talking about publicly. It's no surprise, I'm sure, to many of your audience that I've been on the receiving end of literally hours and hours of online harassment by two individuals, people who I would have thought as former friends. And I've bit my tongue for months, not responding, initially responding to some points in a debate. So the initial, well, let me just name who we're talking about for those maybe you're not sure. So we're talking about Thaddeus from Reasoned Answers and his co-conspirator, let's call her, Too Many Marys. I think we have other names for her as well, but we're not going to go straight into that. Like you had dealings with Thaddeus a number of years ago when you dealt with the Reformation.
Yeah,
and it might be a good place to.
Okay.
That was where it started in terms of the animosity towards me, because of my association, believe it or not, with you, suddenly I started getting flack from them. Do you remember?
But Mel, that is very unusual. First of all, my relationship with you was not exactly, we weren't exactly streaming every other day together.
No,
and
no.
You were far more associated with Reasoned Answers with Thaddeus than with me.
Yeah.
So I find it very strange. Also, I mean, I know by personality, I tend to be aggressive. I tend to be very more confrontational. You are not. You are very calm, very relaxed, very easygoing. Everyone knows you as someone who's so chilled, so easy. And I just find that very strange. I think a lot of that has to do with Mary maybe taking a distinct, shall we say, uncharitable view towards maybe your success. The fact that some of the videos you've done with Jay have had what, 1 million views or hundreds of thousands of views. And
it's not a coincidence that actually all of this recent furore has happened. Like myself and Jay have not been saying anything new really in the last few months, but the moment Jay got 1 million views on a talk, suddenly you got these characters that are very narcissistic within the David Wood clique, you know.
Mm-hmm.
These are people that make or break you, and if you're either in the club, you're not in the club, and if you dare cross them, if you dare don't follow the party line, you know, I don't know who's sending the word down the line, but basically it's like a conspiracy, essentially, a real conspiracy, not conspiracy theory, but basically they all aligned and made it their point that they were coming after us, video after video after video. It might be worth actually just to show the audience like the quantity of videos. I don't know if you're able to go on to Reasoned Answers just to give people.
Yeah, you can also share your own screen if you want. There's a share button on the bottom.
Let me just see if I can spot it here. Yeah, let me just see. Yes, because as I say, I used to go on Thaddeus's channel, and I realized 2 or 3 years ago that actually I was going in a different tangent to his line. Let me just see if I can. How do I do this? So if I go share,
just do the window or full screen. Full screen is usually better, but up to you.
Okay, let's
share the tab or the window or something.
And okay, so if I go,
here
is that sharing the screen? Yeah. If I go, let me see. If I go,
just go to the correct screen, because right now you're sharing. There you go.
And you, yeah, okay.
So there we go.
So you can see that currently they're doing a hilarious screenshot of me. Actually, I have to say thank you to the two of them. Actually, very attractive image of myself. Thank you very much. But Both of us have used AI because it's a very useful tool as part of our research. That's the nature of it. But of course, the smear campaign is that AI hallucinates, so therefore everything that is produced by AI must be wrong. That's the line of logic they're using.
I don't think anyone. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so that's the kind of line of argument that they are using. So if we just look at the level of obsession, so this is like you can see that in there's 3 videos. They did Muslims alter the rock inscription? That's an attack on me. 5 hours long that one was. This one is unusually short, 15 minutes. This one is unusually short. But let's just look, in terms of the. Let me see if I can. Is there a way I can? Let me just click the videos just to show what we're talking about. Actually, I probably need to do the live ones, don't I? Sorry, everyone. Okay, so if we look back, they used to be mainly focused on Muslims, but like literally over the last few months, about 50% of their videos are literally attacking either myself and Jay, and we can see there. So some of them were 5 hours. So did Muslims alter this rock? It's 5 hours. Now it takes a lot to fill a thing with 5 hours. Another one here, 4 hours, 28 minutes. Let me just go a bit further.
Just hide the banner where it says stop sharing and hide. You see the Talk Studio banner on the bottom? Just click the hide.
Will I stop sharing?
Oh, no, not stop sharing. Click hide. Just share again, please, but just hide the banner itself, the sharing.
Oh, okay.
Banner.
Oh, okay.
You'll have to share again.
Sorry. No. All right, let's try it again. Okay. Is that okay? Is it still showing?
Yep, there it is. Yeah, the banner's gone.
Yep. The banner's gone. Okay. So we have like 2 hours, 28 minutes.
4 hours.
These are obsessional
4 hours.
ones. 4 hours, 31 minutes.
I mean, look, Jay has an agenda, certainly, right? There's certain things. Yeah. I think Jay's views. Look, Jay blew the doors off Islamic polemics some years ago when he came to what was it called, Speaker's Corner, and he brought like 25 different Qurans. I was gobsmacked. Yeah. I think everybody was, and I think he changed the landscape forever. Things changed at that point.
Absolutely.
Now, certain dinosaurs, I won't mention any names, but I'll mention initials. For instance, if I spoke of a company, I'd be calling it IBM because I don't want to use the full name, so to retain anonymity. So I'll use DW as a pseudonym.
Yes, I think I know.
Video,
I think I know who you mean.
And they have not, shall we say, that they have not changed to absorb new information, new discoveries, new learnings, new developments, which even academia is absorbing, even academia is working with, and they're sticking to a tried and trusted formula. Fine and well, you can do that. But I don't think you should besmirch or undermine others for doing original and new work. We are moving the industry forward, I think.
I had this very amusing interaction with Mary, and there was, believe it or not, I don't know everything. Okay, big confession. I don't know everything, and there was some detail that I wasn't aware of from Al Jalad, and Mary did this condescending comment about, "Oh, you don't know about Al Jalad. Al Jalad is the top expert." Grant. That's all she needs to say. Okay, I went away, did my reading to catch up on a part of it. But in another instance, when it doesn't suit her, Al Jalad gets thrown under the bus. So she's very selective. If it suits her case, she will talk about scholars as being, the expert. But it's the moment those experts don't suit her agenda or her opinion, they're under the bus.
That's
so
not
you're dealing with that. The main thing I think that's going on, and as I say, like just merely talking about her, she is going to probably do another 4 or 5 live streams this week because I live in her head, like literally rent free. I haven't been to America, but literally I'm living in America rent free.
And why is that so Jay? Because look, Jay may not have every detail right, and Jay does also. I think he doesn't consider. He could broaden his scope historically in terms of time as well as region, granted. But that said, he changed the landscape forever, and two,
Yeah.
he's got I think, a substantively correct thesis that I think we all are converging on. Now, we can all use the Quran and Hadith, and it's been done to death, and it's still being done to death. But there are also original, historical, and other analyses to be done, and people are moving outside of that narrow scope. And I don't know why people want to undermine that.
Yeah. I think it's very hard to escape to the impression that what drives this is egoism and an extreme form of narcissism and envy. And when people are envious of others, particularly of Jay, it leads them to just like hate them because they want that glory. It's the glory that like look at Mary's channel, and I like, this is no disrespect to someone who has just a few videos in her channel, but you know, she's a modest channel with very few views, right? She started her channel. I was one of the first people to actually recommend her channel, which is the irony of it. She had like, when she started out, she had about 15, 20 subscribers. And I saw her video and I thought, oh my God, she's really good. She speaks eloquently, and she's sporting the whole Muslim look. You know, I don't know what's up with that. I thought that was just initial game of hers, but she never goes without the hijab. So hijab Mary, I don't know what's up with that. But I was one of the first people to recommend her channel, but then she did no work beyond that, beyond a few videos, and that's fine.
But then she got attached to Thaddeus.
But then she got the jealousy started kicking in as soon as Jay gets mentioned. Like what I notice is a pattern. I don't respond to everything, but like I went on Al Fadi last week, and I was saying to myself, I bet you Mary's going to do an attack on me. And lo and behold, 48 hours later, she's gone full guns ablazes. So that's what we're dealing with. Unfortunately, in the online world, you have a lot of real people. Like Mary probably has had a hard upbringing. And I think maybe
Mel,
she deserves.
You're breaking up there for a sec. Just go back.
She's got.
No, you broke up for the last 15 or so seconds. Could you just go back?
Am I breaking up?
Yeah. You said you thought she would do an attack after your talk with Al Fadi, and then.
Yeah. So I think, like, I don't know Mary. I don't know Thaddeus. I think Mary probably had a hard upbringing, and her way of surviving in a world that isn't very empathetic to her is to attack people. So that's me being very charitable and trying to be understanding from her background, but that's not my world. I come from a very Gentile sort of culture where we don't go out attacking people and we try and stick to the arguments. And I've tried to turn the other cheek. I've ran out of cheeks. I've literally not been responding. I've not been watching their videos. And I get comments shared. Hello, Adam Seeker. I get comments sent to me. Oh, Mary has just said on the live stream that, Mel, I know you're watching. And I'm like, I haven't got time. So the other thing is, but me and you are busy people. I have a day job. You have a day job. I haven't got time. If I had time, I would not be watching Mary's videos if I had time. You'd be first on the line of videos that I would want to be spending time in my spare time, because I would love to have more time to watch all the other material that everyone is doing. Like that's nature. So I have a full-time day job, and in the spare little time I have in the evening, I'm a very busy person. I try my best to do a bit of research and flaws and all. People know me. You know, it is what it is. If I make mistakes, I correct them. There's no malice. There's no attempt to deceive. The way Mary and these are attacking me now, basically,
you're breaking up again.
An old salesman. That's the way they're carrying on. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, they're breaking up. But it's so strange. I've never seen you attack anyone. I've never seen you make a scene or do an attack video. So it's just very strange to me that, you know, even I don't really make response videos to anybody. I've rarely done that.
No.
And
Like,
And it's
the
just so odd.
the
But yeah, but then hold on
yeah
one sec. Remember, yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I was just going to say that one of the sort of ignitions for this recent, craziness from Mary is from the debate. Mary had a slide with 7th century sources, and there was a few details I wanted to fact check. So I did a fact check on that, and that just drove her demented. So I very calmly was responding to that she misrepresented certain things, and that can be done. There's no malice in it. But Thaddeus was then sharing what I said in a private email to him with her, and then she was then publicly saying I called her a liar when I was trying to very privately, diplomatically say that I felt she was misrepresenting details in her and I was giving constructive feedback, and I was going to leave it at that. And then
you're breaking up again, Mel. Sorry, I'm getting underwater sounds.
Is Mary?
Yeah. Mel, I'm going to text you. Your signal's dropping in and out.
And
yeah, Mel, you have. Not really. Check your phone, Mel. Okay, sorry. So Mel's signal is very bad. I was seeing signal dropouts here in the dashboard, and yeah, let's hope he's able to reconnect. And yes, that is true. Yeah, it's very unfortunate that there's this conflict brewing. I think Mel's one of the most chilled people. He's very relaxed, very easygoing. Okay.
No.
Hey Mel, if it's bad, you may want to reboot your computer just to be on the safe side. That's usually what I do before I stream. I just reboot or restart my internet sometimes.
Yeah. Well, do you want me to do that? Are you okay for a couple of minutes for me to do that?
Yeah, I've got the 20 minutes, but let's just see how it goes for a moment. But Thaddeus is going out of his way publicly to attack colleagues. It's uncalled for, unnecessary, and a waste of time. There's no need for it, and that's true. And I mean, it's just that
the thing is, just to give a little background, a couple of years ago, Thaddeus was sacked from his job for this very thing. He was attacking Muslims publicly. So very personal. If you go through his videos, I'm not making this up. If you go through his channel, 90% of his videos are attacking one individual or another, whether it be Muslim or colleagues. This is his pattern. I don't know where the hatred has come from. It's totally unnecessary. But I don't think that's going to bring anyone to Christ, attacking people. We look at arguments, fine, and leave it at that. Like the other thing is, I said to Thaddeus, listen, I apologize if I've offended you, and I drew the line under it. And he agreed to take down any collaborations that we did together. And then he comes on to DW, and then says, Mel didn't apologize. And I said, okay, listen, Thaddeus, I did apologize, but for the record, I'll say it again, I apologize. That should be the end of it. But Thaddeus can't let a thing go. He's like a dog with a bone, and he keeps coming after me. Like what does he want? Does he want to just does he want to emotionally damage me? Well, the thing is, I don't watch his videos, so I don't know what he's trying to gain out of this. I'm not interested, Thaddeus. And I'm not interested, Mary, with your opinions. I'm doing my own thing. I have my own life. So please get a life and move on.
I think you've been doing very creative and original work. I do my own work. I do my own research. I think we've kind of just been forging our own way and building our own audience. And I think we share a very common audience. But that said, a couple of years ago, I had a conflict. I was on with Thaddeus, and I mentioned something about logic in Protestantism and how it actually borrowed the Islamic concept of sophistry and applied it as an anti-logic tool to undermine the Catholic side. And then I cited Luther's last sermon in Wittenberg, where he calls reason and logic satanic over 30 times. right?
Yes.
And I quoted that, and I mentioned some examples of arguments that I have been seen used against me, and how these are sophist arguments and not based on any kind of history or truth. And Thaddeus took offense. He was shaken by this, but I mean, I know the facts. I stood on the facts, and I quoted Luther directly. I didn't make anything up. I quoted the works, I showed it, and it upset his audience. And his audience, I think, was what goaded him, because his audience wanted satisfaction, and he couldn't upset his audience and have it affect possibly his revenues or his reputation, and so on. And then also he brought someone on from a seminary to do a talk, which I thought was very weak source, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he refused to let me on. He refused to talk with me privately about it. He didn't engage with me privately.
I remember that.
Separately. And I was happy. I would have been very happy to share the evidence and work with him and show him, look, this is. And then also this guy came on, and they kept me in the chat. They wouldn't let me come up and defend myself. And I didn't make any response videos. I was annoyed, of course. I made a few comments about it, but I didn't spend my life on it. I just moved on. And I haven't made any response videos. But I think if I were to do so today, I could prove my case far better, because I've studied the issue deeper. And that wasn't the best treatment of the situation, I think, that he could have made. But in your case, obviously, there's an exception.
It doesn't show much confidence in his case when he refuses to have you come on to respond to it point by point. So the fact that he didn't invite you on just says so much. But the other thing is, like,
Adam, what happened? Adam just said here, Adam, what happened? Do you want to come on for 5 minutes, Adam? Because we only have 15 minutes. Then I have a stream with Usama Dakdok, but here's the link in the chat if you want to come on and tell us. So go on now.
Please do, Adam. What was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought. I can't remember.
I was talking about how he didn't give me an opportunity to explain my position, but I think it was more important. Go on.
I remember now. Yeah. So basically, Thaddeus, and I'm sorry to use this word, but it's the only word I can think of. Thaddeus is a little bit of a weasel, in the sense that he does this to Muslims all the time. Says, come on online, we'll have a friendly chat, and then he ambushes them and attacks them. And he tried the same technique with myself. He said, Mel, come on to the channel, we'll have a friendly chat. And I said, no, I'm actually busy. I was actually busy. I was getting engaged. He wanted me to join him, talking about bad timing. But he said, oh, come on for a friendly chat. And then as soon as I didn't come on, or we saw, what the friendly chat was, himself and Mary just spent several hours just attacking me relentlessly. So that was obviously his plan, was bring me on and then just browbeat me with Mary's nonsense. So that was the plan.
The tone with Mary.
And these are Christian apologists. Apparently. I'm expected to believe that this behavior is Christian. I wouldn't even claim to be a Christian apologist, right? Because that's a very high bar, to claim that. But you'd better be living living like an admirable way if you want to claim that.
I research history. I put facts up, and you could say I do polemics, but I do historical research, really. And but it just shows there's an ego component, and there's also, for some, I do believe there's a financial component. They want to protect their rice bowl, and this is more important than actual facts or truth. And look, I think I'm just better off generally on my own, doing my own thing. So how would you like to see this resolved?
Sorry?
How would you like to see this resolved? I
don't. The thing is, the best we can do is basically agree to disagree. I just go on and do my own thing. They do their thing, and just stop obsessing about me. I remember there was a friend of mine who was going out with this crazy woman, and he broke up with her, and she kept showing up outside his door late in the evening time, and just would not leave him alone. It feels like that. It's not what adults do. We're dealing with adults here online. You wouldn't do this in real life. If someone said, "Listen, I don't want to hang around with you," in real life, you just go off and do your own thing. You wouldn't just keep showing up at their door. But once it's online,
Yeah.
it's
You know
they
what's
think it's
interesting
all right.
is, I mean, you hang out
I
with some
see
of the,
that. I'm fed up with the ranting about Mel. See that.
yeah.
Thanks,
You know what's
Janice.
interesting? You hang out with some of the top scholars, right? And your ideas are taken seriously, and you get assisted by some of the top scholars, some in the background, right? And people
Yeah.
do watch our content, and it does seem to influence the discourse at the academic level, even if it's not public,
It does.
right?
Yeah.
And I see even my
Just
even my
give you one example. Just give you one example. I coined the an acronym SEN, Standard Islamic Narrative. Now, Standard Islamic Narrative was used for years, but I coined that. That's been used among academics, believe it or not, as a shorthand now. So they do pay attention. And I when I went to the INARA conference, I got a lot of very complimentary comments. I'm not saying that for ego's sake or anything like that, because it doesn't matter. I could easily be sharing photos of myself with Stephen Shoemaker and all the greats, but I'm not doing that because I'm not in it for the ego. And they do respect me, to the extent that they follow me, and they know I'm an amateur, and I don't make any bones about it. I've never claimed to be a scholar. Part of the straw man attacks on me is, "Oh, Mel claims to be a scholar," and blah 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 blah. And I've never. I'm just an ordinary guy with a camcorder.
I had Michael, what's his Lofton?
Webcam.
I've had Michael Lofton refuse to have me on because I don't have a PhD. But he had a PhD on who was lying through his teeth to him and Mel. Michael Lofton was lapping it up like a kitty drinking milk, and I'm like, so it's okay to have a lying PhD, but not me. Welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam, just 1 second.
Adam Seeker, the great man himself.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, how are you guys?
Good, thanks.
This is a new studio style. I have no idea about this one.
It's StreamYard. Give me 1 second, Mal. So what's his name? Deluxe Sofa said, if Mary offers to debate you, would you accept?
Oh, come on. No, she's just a horrible. There's too much bad blood. Like, there's no debating someone who is behaving like this. If she ever wants to debate me, she has lost any.
You don't see the honest debate either. It's very rare that you see just
no
straight up.
She just spends, like, you look at the way she treated Robert Spencer, and he's such a nice guy and a knowledgeable guy, someone that everyone respects, and the way she treated him in the debate was utterly disgusting. Utterly disgusting. She's not. I would not go to meet him. So.
Breaking up again.
Listen to her great voice. Sorry.
So Adam, welcome. So what happened 6 months ago?
Oh, I was talking about the 6 months ago thing that Mel said that Thaddeus lost his job 2 years ago. I said it's 6 months ago, not 2 years ago, because of his videos. Yes, it happened this year. Yeah, it happened this year. So yeah,
2 years ago. Was it really?
It might, but it happened this year.
Maybe in this world it feels like years ago. Oh, okay.
Yeah, what happened this? I would like to say that this is going very, very south, and this should not happen. When all of these people who were fighting the common enemy, and that is the common enemy, they shouldn't be fighting among each other. Everyone has the right to do apologetics or polemics in their own ways. If you have an issue with Jay, that's where it started, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken because that is from where I started looking into this. So I know it started with Jay. If you have an argument with Jay, have a debate. What's the problem with that? If you have an argument with Robert Spencer, fair enough. Have a proper time discussion and debate. Everyone has the right of their own opinion, especially if you are living in the West. You have the right to form your own opinion. If you think that you are right, have a reasonable discussion. Don't act like a Muslim. And things are going pretty south at this moment, and I don't like this thing because this is only going to create more and more issues and nothing more. And you are giving air to the fire which is already burning on the other side, and they want to burn you all. And if you're not going to stand united, you are going to be eaten up by this fire. And that's what I'm going to say to everyone that it is happening.
Yeah. Well, you know where I'm coming from. Like, I have not given air to this for the last 3 months, but it's been going on, and I haven't counted up the amount of hours of live stream of pure smearing, but it's a lot. It's probably 30-40 hours of this at this point.
Wow.
So I've done as much as I can do. I do also have a right to defend my character, and I'm
Absolutely.
sure that's one of the 10 commandments. You know, one of the 10 commandments is, you know, don't bear false witness against your neighbor. It's a clear commandment.
You know,
and to attack people like that is breaking that commandment.
No, look, you know, I mean, we all disagree with somebody, and I'm sure people disagree with me, right? And I know, in fact, I know that. But that said, I mean, I have guys who contact me all the time and say, hey, I need some help on the Sharia. Can you get me this reference? I'm not going to go, well, you have a different set of beliefs than me, or I disagree with you on X, therefore I won't help you. I have provided people, I mean, constantly, you know, I have a mixture of people that I disagree with on the channel all the time, you know. And so granted, I mean, but yeah, it's just childish to do this kind of polemics against people. Look, I mean, there's people maybe I don't like, but I don't talk about them. I don't make it my life mission. It's really sad. Adam, I mean, I'm sure there are people that disagree with you, and I'm sure you disagree with others, but you've never been nasty to people. I've never seen you behave in anything other than a gentlemanly fashion. Same as Mel. I mean, what are your thoughts, Adam?
Exactly. Like, I just stop going to their channels, full stop. Like, if the opinions are not in line with my opinion, and if we have discussed and the discussion has not gone to a particular ending, I would just stop doing that. But at the end of the day, he has the right of his own opinion. And you know, I have seen in the past history, my own history, I've seen that everyone is different, so everyone thinks different. So for everyone, it's not always your side who can bring the other person to come to see the truth. Sometimes something else might. So, and we have Osama Dakdok here as well. Hey Osama, I did not see you yet. So
hello.
I've never spoken to you before, but I salute you.
Thank you so much. What do you mean you have never spoken to me before? You already speaking with me right now.
Oh, well, yeah.
Right now. So I'm talking to you.
Yeah, the famous Adam Seeker and Osama Dakdok in the house together.
Amazing. What a club. Incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, it's like I have used Jay's arguments so many times in the past, and these arguments actually hold a huge value. And he's talking about history, and whatever he's talking about when the Quran is written and all that, these timelines, they don't match, and that's a perfect way to look at it as well. Or you can look at the historical evidence from the Islamic scriptures. Like, these are two different lines to look at Islam. Why would you start from here and then put different type of fuel and then make it something so bigger than, you know, I don't know how, what this is getting pretty bad.
Yeah, I just think that they've done too many videos attacking Mal, attacking Jay. What is their purpose? Is it jealousy? Are they trying to undermine and destroy them? What is it? I mean, this is not healthy behavior.
Yeah. It's not helping the cause as well, because like Muslims are looking at that behavior from them, and they're rubbing their hands and saying they are doing our work for us, like, you know.
Yeah.
And like, I know that we shouldn't be fighting, you know, and that's why I've literally I've zipped it for like 3 months.
Although
but there's a limit, to how much I can roll over and turn the other cheek, you know.
Yeah. People have told me
today that's it, you know.
No, look, I can understand your frustration, and people have told me that since Mary came on his channel, I mean, this is not, look, I mean, whatever, I've got my own issues with people and so on, but since Mary came on, many people have said to me that Thaddeus changed, the channel changed, and she wears the pants in that particular relationship. And they don't, many don't like the vibe. So it has created a change in tone. Usama, you
Yeah.
getting the context here? The
Well,
vibe?
I would like to say hello to all of you and greetings in the name of our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ. Good to be with all of you. I do not know what are you talking about.
So Mal works with Jay Smith a lot and with Al Fadi. Mal does original work on, like, he's taking the word Muhammad, which is not an Arabic word because it was Mahmad originally. Muhammad is Arabic, the mu sound.
It's
Great
not a
video.
name.
Yeah, title granted, but then Mahmad comes back. You can trace it to different geographies and times and cultures, and it clearly seems to be Christian in the 4th and 5th centuries. And this has caused consternation. And then, of course, Jay, and now they're attacking Mal and Jay. We've got a couple of apologists, reason dancers, and Mary, Too Many Marys, who, although we do have too few Lloyds, too few Usamas, too few Mals, and too few Adam Seekers. We need a few more of those. And they've been doing 4-5 hour streams. They've done several, maybe a dozen or more over the last few weeks, attacking Mal. And Mal's a chill guy, like you.
I'm listening.
Sorry,
I watched the live stream that they did with DW, and DW is literally calling me a liar like multiple times. I'm like going, like, what do you do with that situation? Like, that's in a normal circumstance, someone would go to court for that kind of level of libel. You can have a difference of opinion, but not claiming someone's a liar because they have a different opinion is absolutely.
Let me share something
so
with you
unfair.
guys. The Lord has put in my heart right now as I'm listening to you. I don't even know what you're talking about. I was gonna share it, and I thought maybe I'm losing my point here. I'm not with their topic, but here's the story. It's a biblical account, which I believe the Holy Spirit wrote to us for a purpose, that the disciples of Jesus did a great job to stop people who are performing miracles in Jesus' names, who are doing a great job for Jesus. They stopped them. We were talking about the best of the Christian at the time. And Jesus asked him, why you stop this? Because they don't follow us. They're not in our group. They're not in our program. So we stopped it and just said, they are not against us. They are with us. If they're working in the kingdom, why do you stop them? So I'm taking this wrong. It's just a thought came to my mind. I'm not here to stop anyone to do whatever they're doing, as long as they're not against the Holy Spirit and against the Word of God, against the Christian faith. As a matter of fact, I have no problem to talk with Lloyd about things I learned from him about Martin Luther, who was to me a great hero. I'm a Protestant guy. I follow Martin Luther, which I did not know too much. And here we go, brother Lloyd taught me things about Martin Luther. I said, is this your opinion? Is this what you thought? Is this what the wacko people talk about? No. Here is his book. Here's his writing. I have no problem to be with Lloyd, even though if you look at it in the beginning, man, that guy is a nutcase. He's destroying my Martin Luther. My Martin Luther.
Poor Martin.
We barely got started on Martin, Usama. You're going to be shocked with the rest.
Yeah, that is good. That's good. But so it doesn't matter.
The truth is the truth, isn't it? The truth is the truth.
What Adam Seeker or anybody is saying, that's okay. But we need to investigate what people say. It's not to be blind. He's telling the truth. Now we become like a good Muslim. 1400 years believe in a lie because we don't question, because we don't investigate. That's not even biblical. Remember, there's that group of people who the Apostle Paul bragged about. Why did he brag about them? Oh, because they're just obedient, nice, listening to him and do whatever he says. Yes, amen, Paul, you're the prophet. No, they investigated him. It's called the librarian people. They investigated him for the purpose to make sure what he's teaching is true. So we're not here to stop anyone of doing whatever they're doing. We ought to investigate each and every one speaking, whatever they speak about, whatever topic. And if they are on the right track, praise God, let's support them. If not, let's expose them. The Apostle Paul opposed Peter. That means the foundation of our Christian faith. He called him a hypocrite. You sit with the Gentiles and eat when there were no Jews there. And when one Jew guy show up, you eat by yourself. What kind of hypocrite are you? Man, there's so much in the Bible we can learn from Jesus' days and the Apostle days and the book of Acts. We are leaving. The reason we are not strong like we ought to be, because what we left the scripture and the example the Lord set for us in the scripture, the weakness and the strengths of the previous people who lived before us.
Something I learned when I was younger, it was a story of two lines on the ground, and there was a short line and a long line. And someone said, how do you shorten this line? And they looked at the longer line, and then, this guy said, you erase it, you rub it out, and so. And he said, no, the better way is to lengthen your line.
Absolutely.
It's a simple story, but I want to lengthen my line. I don't have to slander Thaddeus. Yes, I can be upset and I can say that, but I don't have to spend my life on it. I can be angry at someone. I can say I disagree. That's an error. That's wrong, and I can move on. I think we're allowed to point out error and say, but to make 20, 30, 40, 50 hours of streams over the last month or two, maybe that's excessive. Adam, you were going to say?
No, whatever you said is absolutely right. I fully agree with you on that one. And but I would actually side with Osama Dog actually stated. And yeah, we can have a difference of opinion. We might be able to say something at one time and then leave it alone. Leave it alone. And if you want to have an argument based on the argument that the other person is representing, perfect. That is not even a problem. For that, that's perfect.
True, present an argument. Yeah.
The other thing is when ego gets involved, other people can't even take the correction that you're offering them, because once you've made it an ego thing, there's one winner, there's one loser. The other person cannot freely then take what you're saying because that means they lose and you win. Whereas, in a normal dialogue, people can disagree, share things, and then after the person goes away and goes, "Do you know what? I was thinking about what you said. Actually, I think you're right." And there's been times, when Mary and Thaddeus have said things, and I've gone away and I've thought about it and think, "Oh yeah, I see what where they're coming from." But it has to be both ways, and with respect,
Yeah. I mean, look, I've learned a lot from Thaddeus. I mean, the time that I spent on with him was valuable to me. I learned a great deal. I benefited from that. I think I grew with that. And I've learned from Osama, for instance. I mean, I see a flaw in myself. I can get too angry, too emotional sometimes. And Osama has spoken to me about it, and he's right. And I know it. I acknowledge that I could have better self-control sometimes. It's something I'm aware of now, and I'm working on that, and granted. But I mean, you guys are such calm people. I find it strange that I can't see you guys attacking Mal the way that Mary.
Oh, you can't call me calm, by the way.
Stop making it. Change your opinion.
No,
I just had a big argument with my best friend.
No, look, you both get loud, but you're not nasty people. You're chill people. Yeah. And I can't see you making nasty videos about multiple videos about someone you don't like.
I heard this recently said. God whispers, the devil roars, and there's a lot of truth in that.
Sure.
Yeah, but someone's funny.
We have a friend, Adam and I. We had a friend in the past, and who was so mad at me and Adam, and he's gonna do a whole show to trash me and Adam. He actually sent us the link. So I called Adam and I said, "Adam, what do you do?" He said, "I'm not gonna go there." I said, "Neither am I." And I don't think Adam ever made a response move. Did he ever make a response movie, Adam?
Yeah.
Nope. I don't need to.
Neither do I.
So why can't Mary and Thaddeus just improve their thesis without attacking Jay and Mal all the time?
Yeah.
I mean, there's truth to what Jay says. I had my fallout with Jay. Now, I didn't make it public, but I mean, I felt disrespected, right? And I've already spoken about it. I won't go into that again. And I said, look, I'm not going to work with Jay. Now, look, I have not, I think, gone around slandering Jay. I support his ideas. I think he's right. I acknowledge him because he changed the whole anti-Muslim argument when he took all those Qurans to Speaker's Corner. I mean, we owe him a thanks. We all owe that man a thanks.
Yeah.
So yes, we can point out flaws in all of us, but I mean, we don't go around. It's just unfortunate that it's happened like this, Mel.
Yeah. So Jay has a lot of what do you call value, a lot of value that he has given to everyone over here that are present here, and especially in my life as well. When he actually debated Shabir Ali on the classical debate, it's called the classical debate between Jay Smith and Shabir Ali. If that debate would not have happened, I might have been a Muslim for another few years very easily.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I've said that many times in the past already. And it's just not just me. There are so many
Oh,
Muslims
absolutely.
in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I tell you my own experience with Jay. I spoke with him in a conference in Toronto, Canada. I don't know, 15 years ago, and I spoke, and I was so happy, proud of myself, doing these conferences. Maybe more than 15 years ago, I can't remember. But anyway, so what he talked about did not make any sense to me. I said, man, that guy's nuts. I mean, his teaching is opposite of everything I'm teaching. I'm talking about the true history of Islam. I know for sure Muhammad was born in that day and that year. But you know what? 13 years went by, and I did not benefit a jack out of all what he's saying, because in my mind and my heart, as a confession, he's wrong and I'm 100% right. But the last 2 years, I'm sitting here traveling for a good couple hours, listening to one of his teaching, hear it again. Even last week, God's my witness, I was coming back from Des Moines, Iowa. I was in Iowa and listened for another more time. And then 2 nights ago, I listened to 1 hour where he talked about Muhammad, the Quran, and Mecca. Man, I'm more convinced today he influenced me. And in the beginning, it's like, well, what difference does it make? It makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
I mean, all my life, I believed in one Holy Quran, perfect, Arabic, not one word, not one dot. When I realized now that in the first 100 years, there was not a dot in the Quran. Not only nobody added a dot, there was not dots in the whole Arabic Quran. So I learned a lot from him, and I have no problem to work with anybody as long as they teach me, and they teach me the truth, not propaganda, not hogwash, not sugarcoating material. There are plenty of those out there.
And at the end of the day, it is, if anybody in the world has evidence against what he is providing, why not bring it out? Yeah. And that's it. That's how you refute the person, whether you're a Muslim or a Christian or whoever. Destroy the argument with evidence. Simple. That's how simple it is.
And the thing is, if you want your evidence to be effective, share that evidence with respect, because people will not listen. If you're trying to refute somebody, if you don't have respect, people will not listen. You got to show respect. And people like Robert Spencer and Jay, they've been at this for decades. They deserve respect. They have earned it. Little whippersnappers who come along.
Robert Spencer had an impact on me. Jay had an impact on me, and we do owe them respect. They've changed the world and the life. That they've changed the lives of many, many people for the better. That they've brought more people into this thing that we do, right? And they've helped people to come out of Islam, and they've given people the truth. And sure, they may be flawed here and there or whatever, but you know what? We do owe them some thanks, I think.
Yeah. I got a message from an ex-Muslim this week. Don't get them too often, but occasionally someone leaves a message, because I was, for private reasons, not connected to these attacks against me. I eventually will have to get offline, because my private life is more important. I have commitments to other people and things like that. But an ex-Muslim basically left a kind comment and said, basically, thank you for your work. Because of you, I've left Islam and you've saved my life. And I don't know what the details are that, but when you get something like that, it doesn't matter how many hours you've spent, for years. Yeah. If one person gets taken out of that cult, it's been all worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember, I maybe shared this with Lloyd in one of our shows. One day I was working in some radio broadcast, which I do on VCY. It's a daily half-hour program. I've been doing now for literally almost 16 years. We're on the 16 years. So it's a long time. And 4 or 5 years ago, I was so upset, because for me to do an Arabic broadcast, an English broadcast, Arabic, I have no problem, but in English, I always need somebody to help me to edit my work. I don't want to use the wrong verbs, the wrong tense. My English is not that good, even though I understand English very well. But I have to present it right. There's so many errors. And if you listen to me, it's the same errors I keep repeating. So that day I asked my wife to help me, and she said she's busy and does this, and I could not. I called some other friend to help me, and he could not. And I'm running short on time to send these programs to the station. I have to send them like a week ahead. So I was walking out of my house to my garage, and I was so mad. I said, I quit. I'm going to call the station. I said, I am unqualified. Find somebody else who speaks better English than me, who can record the programs for you. And I was so upset. And as I go out my garage, I remember like yesterday, it was almost 5 years ago, and my phone is ringing. And I look at the phone, it's a weird number, start with 011, blah. So hello, and his name is Mohammed Hussein, whatever his name, from London. The man called me from London. I'm here in the United States. And he said, I just want to call you to say thank you for all your hard work. Because of you, now I am a strong Christian. You have led me to the Lord. It's like, I don't know. The Lord picked up the perfect time. The perfect time. Yeah. Before that, I have a bigger problem, similar to that the station called me. And they said, some Muslims are right now fighting us to take you off air. And that was like 3-4 years before that. And I said, why? Because you're Islamophobe, you're radical, you're extremist, you're not telling the truth. And I forgot about that. Few weeks after that phone call from London, I got an email. And that guy said, I was protesting you with a bunch of Muslims of my mosque in Milwaukee area, trying to take you off air. See the timing of God. My mother died last week, and I went to Africa to bury her. And I praise God, she died as a Christian believer because of your influence on that radio broadcast. I used to listen to you with notes and paper to take notes. You say Allah said, and all my life I saw it before this investigation to your teaching. I saw it, you're lying. So I go to the Quran, it's exactly what you said. Muhammad said, I go to the Hadith, it's exactly what he said. The scholar said, he said, I investigated you for enough years. These are the 3, whatever, for years. And I know that's one of the early people who tried to take me off air. And he said, not only now I'm a believer, but my mama died last week. I buried her in Africa. She refused to have a Muslim imam. She actually have a Christian service. Brothers, you cannot tell me that soul and that soul and this story and that story.
Yeah.
We are not worthy to do our work. And if we do it with the true spirit of God, we'll say we're just abid battalin. We just did what we ought to do. We're not really doing much than what we are. We are asked to do it, and we do it, and we don't deserve to be even say thank you, Brother Lloyd, for your show. Thank you, Brother Meal, for your show. It doesn't matter. We're just doing what we're asked.
We're doing, I was going to say we're doing it out of a sense of obligation. We could not do otherwise. No,
I think.
Let me tell you something. Like here in the Western world, I don't know where each and every one of you are, but let's just say the whole Western world, the US, UK, and Canada, and all. You have the freedom to speak. You have the freedom to go to the church. You have the freedom to accept your belief systems. I work mostly with the Pakistani people, and when they leave Islam and accept Christ, they can't even go to the church. Do you understand the problem here? They can't even go to a church because they're afraid that if somebody from their neighborhoods, from their family, anybody would see them going inside the church, their life and their family's life in jeopardy. They go into online churches and listen to the videos at home wearing headphones that even the voice might not be heard from somebody in the street.
Wow.
When you are working with these kind of people, these petty details of who is right in his argument, when that argument has moved so many people out of the cult, it's just simply petty details. Muhammad existed, Muhammad did not exist. Does it matter? It doesn't matter. In both scenarios, it doesn't matter. If he does not exist, this whole thing was created by somebody else. Perfect. It's still wrong. If he existed and this whole thing was created by a man named Muhammad, it is still false. We are talking about what thing has been given in both scenarios. And quite frankly, there is no evidence historically for Makkah to be there anyways. If somebody has this evidence, bring it on.
You're right. Can I just mention one thing though? Mal, just 1 second. I mean, it was something I thought of earlier. You did allude to it and someone just mentioned it. But I mean, David Wood is very entertaining. I learned a lot. We all did. I think David Wood influenced all of us. I think in a real sense, I've moved past David Wood because that is something that's at a very basic level. right? And it's the same argument generally recycled. So
May I interrupt you here, brother?
go on, yeah.
When you said David Wood is the very basic argument, this is the first thing David Wood put the seed in.
Yeah,
In my
no,
life, the early things that I wanted to refute was David Wood.
yeah.
He is mellow speaker, mild speaker, gives a very short video, short
No,
intro.
it's very entertaining,
He-
compelling.
So he gives you the seed for you to research, and then you come into the giants of this world
Yep.
in there. But I think I did not hear your whole comment, but I wanted to add to this over here
Mhm.
when you said that mellow speaking is required to begin with when you are a very sound Muslim, because you are not going to listen to very hard arguments, very hard argument,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
No, I'm
in
not
detailed
denying
argument,
his
in depth argument.
I'm not denying his impact, but I'm talking about from my perspective of Mel's, that for us, we've graduated past that for us, right?
Yeah.
We were investigating different things. We moved into different areas. Now, but this guy says, and Malbashi's maybe right here, David Wood is entertaining in his Muhammad takedowns, and he's very powerful. I mean, very effective. We all want to be David Wood, granted. But this relies on the idea that Mo is or was real, right? But he says, Mal, that you, like Jay, you offer arguments that Mo may not have existed, and this is a threat to David and to David's view. So maybe this is because I have wondered, and people have said to me in the past, and I've heard it said that because he's not very flexible when it comes to the historical argument. He doesn't accept it. He doesn't take it on board. He's not open to it.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a problem. It's a
Something there's something I need to point out, because this is responding to something Mary is probably talking about in her live stream at the minute. But this Mo versus no Mo thing, I'm not a no mower. My argument is a very subtle one, and most people don't get it. Is all I'm saying is there's a gap between the historical figure in the 7th century, who likely lived in a different location, and the writings about this individual. So the argument is really simple. It's basically, you cannot rely on the Hadiths and the Sirah to tell you much about that person. There's too much of a gap. The people who were writing those things were not alive when he was alive. That's it. So it's not really an argument about, was there a human being going around that people were calling Mahmed or Mahomet or even Muhammad? That's not the argument. And it's frustrating for me, because it becomes a straw man argument. People say, oh, you're a mythicist. I said, no. Saying that the stories that were written 200 years later cannot be accurate is not the same thing as being a mythicist. I'm not denying the existence of a figure who was called a warlord or a prophet going around teaching people. I'm not in denial of that. But a lot of people just don't get that subtlety, and
Then I'm a bigger mythicist. Then I'm a bigger mythicist, because according to me, there were two Mo's, one in the north, one in the south. And then they joined both of the Mo's, created a Mo in Makkah. Lloyd actually presented one of his live stream where he showed 1,800 words from the southern area, the Irani area, Persian area. And then there are almost 1,500-1,600 words from the Syriac Aramaic language in the Quran. So, and then you see some things are connected to the Jerusalem and all that. And then you see the attack of the elephant, Surah Lahab, where the elephants are attacking Surah Fil, Ethiopian. So I would say there are at least two Mo's, and then they created a single Mo in Makkah, and the historical fight also defines that point from the Abbasian Caliphate. So if you say it has been written too far out, and people are saying you are a mythicist, then I am the double mythicist.
Can I call it the cow argument? We call it moo moo.
Well, the fact is that there are plenty of internal evidence in the Quran to lead us that the Quran did not start in Mecca. It started somewhere where the Syriac and Aramaic people were speaking. Because what is the purpose? I mean, how can you defend that there are English words in a book written in Egypt when we know that these words in the English are actually American words? Maybe, most likely, the guy who wrote it while he's living in America, or some influence of America on the author to write this word in English in a book written in Egypt. You see what I'm saying here? There's plenty of evidence. And I want to add something quickly here. We don't know anything about Muhammad in Islam. And we know that the Muhammad of the Quran could be somebody else, or I don't know. But similar to that, Muhammad's own writing. I mean, me and Lloyd, we just finished our study about Abraham. And boy, oh boy, how much of Abraham, Muhammad inserted in the Quran came from the legends of the Jews? Plenty.
Plenty. Myths, legends, stories, fairy tales, kiddies' tales.
One story after another, after another. I'm not even finished with it in my English programs, which I do for VCY. I'm been recording now for a few days. But you cannot tell me that Abraham did not exist. No, we know for sure that there was Abraham. There's no doubt. But is it the Abrahamic of the legends of the Jews or the Abrahamic of the Bible? Because the Quran copies so much from the legend of the Jews and did not mention that which is the Bible.
Right. You know, Paul. You know what, Paul? What's his name? Hold on. I need to show you this. But Paul Williams, right? He just published. Actually, hold on. I need to show you guys this. Gosh, this is actually. This is something that you must see here.
I am so excited. I cannot wait. Please let me see it now.
Yeah, sorry about that. I am going to be there in a second. It takes me a moment. Just don't say the Shahada. Whatever you do, I will move faster. Just
so in the meantime,
this is what you're looking for. I just wanted to say that David Wood had a live stream the other night where a guy called Chris showed loads of evidence of borrowing in the Quran.
Who is this Paul Williams?
You don't know him. What do you mean?
He's our special friend, man. He's my special friend.
Williams?
God, he is so delusional. Isn't he?
Oh my God. So he has all the Muslims with him. Who best preserves the original message of Jesus? The Quran preserved the original message of Jesus.
Let me tell you, this was planned. I was on his channel at the moment that the post appeared. I was there seconds later, okay? And then this thing went to 100% with like 90 votes in a few seconds. I watched it in real time. I was watching it. And I made a couple of posts, okay? Can you separate Jesus from the church? Yes, he didn't found a church. I mean, this guy is just full of it. I put up this post here. The Quran is vague, even about Jesus. It lacks details found in all the other sources. It adds late Gnostic and other folklore. It cannot even explain what the Mashiach is, okay? Or convince anyone. These are all the vague details. The virgin birth, titles of Jesus, miracles, crucifixion. It's all totally vague.
But that gives a chance for the scholars of Islam to fabricate an answer for all the missing information to make scholars out of them. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. We know that Mary left her family and went to the East. Now, you can say when she went to the East, she found a big 2-story McDonald's and she worked there for a whole year and a half. She provided money for herself. She fed her baby Isa, and you can always fill in.
I knew that Big Mac was divinely ordained for me to eat. I'm going to tell my wife.
Oh, no. Osama, you are so wrong. It's not McDonald's. It was the date tree without the leaves on the top of the date tree. Mariam showed.
But I rush in my talk.
You forget about Bidaya wal Nihaya. How can you forget Bidaya wal Nihaya? That's what Ibn Kathir says. The tree had
I made a
no
mistake.
leaves.
Okay. I'll correct.
Okay, correct that.
So I thought McDonald's was biblical and I could convince my wife to let me go.
I mean, you have to tell me, where in the world did Mary work in that time when she was pregnant until the baby was born? I mean, she have to be working. I saw McDonald's or Burger King. I know the Subway did not start then. So it was not Subway. But now Adam is going to change my mind. Oh, thanks, Adam.
But what message did Jesus give according to Quran? Like how many verses that was the message of Jesus? So
one simple message. He gave us the good news of a prophet who will come after him. His name is Ahmed. Not Ahmed the terrorist, but Ahmed.
But didn't Jesus actually said that blessed is the day I was born, the day I die, and the day I will be raised alive? Why do you forget that verse? That was the baby Jesus speaking in the cradle.
I know.
So the Muslims believe in that he died and raised alive?
No, he's coming back. You know that. You know that. He's coming back.
So,
he will have
so,
four wives.
So they changed the verse from
Adam, don't cut me short. I mean, I have to talk about Prophet Isa now. You're going to have
Okay.
4 wives. One of them is going to be 9 years old to follow the sunnah of Muhammad. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Go ahead.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
But Jesus died at the age of 33 according to Muslim scholars as well. So he will
but
come
only
back
few hours,
and he
man.
will
Few
live
hours.
for another 20 years before he marry a 9 years old.
Well, you know.
But-
But
While he is killing the pigs and breaking the cross. 20 years.
listen, you are corrupting the word of Allah. Now you're acting weird, man. What are you? An apostate? An infidel? What are you?
Get stuck for Allah. Get stuck for Allah. Get stuck for Allah.
I think there should be a Tafsir's Olympics for the verse in the Quran that has the most conflicting explanations.
It's what's amazing is,
I mean, what does the Quran actually say about Jesus? Probably 3 things.
not anything. Why you even pick Jesus? I have the Quran in my hand.
How can it
There's
say
nothing
anything
about
about Jesus? How can
anything.
you say the Quran explains nothing?
Yeah.
I challenge you. Give me a story in the Quran where it is written fully, not in detail, for somebody to figure out something out of it.
Let me think about it.
There was
No, you don't have to think.
I'll tell you what the
wasting time.
Quran. I'll tell you a story to explain what the Quran is like. A guy is lost in a helicopter in the city, and he pulls up beside a skyscraper. He holds a sign saying, "Where am I?" And the person writes back, "You're in a helicopter." That's that's the Quran.
That makes more sense than most stories in the Quran.
I love this story, man. I'm going to so repeat it.
Can I use this story and give credit for myself for it?
You can. It's yours. It's my gift. Yeah.
Thank you. I will use it from now on.
It's a beautiful story. Lovely. But that's the reality.
That's
the reality.
exactly. It's totally, what's the opposite for unclear? Vague. It's totally vague.
Yeah.
You know?
And I believe,
And people-
I believe the reason is most Muslim people never read a book besides the Quran. And I love what ex-Muslim, his name is Muhammad Saleh, maybe you know of him. He's an Arabic guy from Iraq. He said the Muslims who brag about the Quran are showing to the world that they have never read another book. They're super stupid. They only memorize the Quran. They didn't even understand the Quran, but they memorize the Quran. Imagine you memorize a book and you know nothing about, and you brag about it, because I can name for you few 100,000 books are written much better than anything written in the Quran.
Yeah. Do you know what? All the ideologues always speak ambiguously because they control more people that way. So Hitler, the famous one, when people listen to him, they all heard their own message. The Quran is very much like that. It is not specific enough that people will know exactly, so that you can bend and twist it whatever way you like to bring the masses along with you. That's the way it
You're
works.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right, brother. There is a verse in the Quran Muslim scholars are used to interpret 4 different biblical stories of 4 different prophets: Daniel, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, and I believe, I don't know who else, the fourth, now I can't remember. Same verse. When you read a verse, ambiguous verse, we're talking about something, about one thing, about that area between the mountain on the right side, and then he said, and he did, and then who's talking about? Read the scholars of Islam. It is Ezekiel, it is Daniel, it is Jeremiah, it is somebody else. I can't remember who it was. Maybe Paul or something else. So it's a miracle.
And then the second point that they did was they jumbled it up. So now it is not according to the revelation order as well. And now you can't even know the history of Islam, how the verses were revealed, when the verses was revealed, because now you have a jumbled up book, which was jumbled up by God knows who, unless you read it through the revelation order. And when you read it through the revelation order, then again you will not understand, because nobody has the full revelation order. They can only look at the first verse of the first chapter of that particular Quranic surah, and then they say it is either Makkan or Madniyan, and then within that particular surah the verses are jumbled up, because some came before, some came after, and you will know what. And then you have to read the Asbabul Nazul. Asbabul Nazul is the reason for the verse to come down. When you read the Asbabul Nazul, you will actually see that there are 3 different Asbabul Nazuls. So Asbabul Nazul by Al-Wahidi, Asbabul Nazul by Ibn Kasir, and then Asbabul Nazul was written inside the Tafasir of Al-Qurtubi. and Al-Tabari as well. Now, when we read those, they are also fighting among each other. Which one came first? For example,
It's a
Surah
ver-
Mudassir,
yeah,
was it the first verse, or it is the not the first
you know,
surah, and so
you're
on and so
absolutely
forth.
right. Yeah,
So they
unbelievable.
actually
Mhm.
jumbled up the Quran so much. Even though Quran is not telling all the stories at once,
Yeah.
story of Ibrahim is written in maybe 9 different locations, and none of them actually describe you. Surah about Lut, it is written with 4 different locations. Every time have different stories. Nuh, written multiple
Mhm.
locations, different stories, and then they are jumbled up so badly that you don't even
Salad.
know what is where.
Salad, man. Yeah,
Yeah. The-
it is a
I
salad.
think the
Unbelievable.
I think it's a bit like the Lone Ranger. I remember seeing this episode of the Lone Ranger, and he was trying to get away, and he tied a branch to the back of the horse to brush away the tracks, and that's what the jumbling of the Quran is all about. It's about hiding the origins of everything, hiding the tracks, so that you cannot make sense of it, or because if it was given away, I think, too much information, so people could have worked out, oh, this is coming from the Talmud, this is coming from this is coming from that, and people would work out that, oh, this is a human creation, this is not from God, it's a human
Yeah, I think we're
fabrication.
starting to reverse engineer that now. I think we're starting to back engineer and see where these things came from. I have a ton of
Yeah.
material I actually haven't done any shows on, but I have a ton of material on the original sources. You've done some talks, and Mel, I've done a little bit of work, but
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
possible
it's-
now to start figuring out where it came from and how they altered it.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Gabriel
amazing.
Reynolds and Mark Drury are two sources
Yeah.
that have done a lot of work in this area.
Yeah, I have a confession to you guys. For years, as a Christian Egyptian who studies the Quran and learn about Islam, it's almost 40 some years of my life. Literally, I started when I was 9 years old. I'm 57 now. I'm in my 57 years, and they taught us in school Islam. And for years, when you hear the word, this is given from the Israeliyat. In my mind, I think that what he meant, what Muhammad or the scholars of Islam meant, is that is what comes from the Bible. And they will find out, wait a minute, this information is not in the Bible. So we come up with the idea, they came from the legends, they came from other books, apocrypha, books were not biblical. I say, okay, so now I know it. So, but for years, I confessed my falsehood, my false work, my what do you call, my being lazy, my being, I said, oh, we know this come from the legends. We know this come from the legend, but I never bothered to read the legend, because you open the legend of the Jews and you're talking about 1,700 pages. That's bigger than the Bible. Who's going to have time to read 700 pages, 1,700 pages, or whatever? There's lots of other books just to find out what that book of the Quran talk about Abraham from all these books. So I feel I neglected my work as a speaker, as a scholar, as a writer, as whatever you want to call me, whatever thought you give me. I should have done that 40 years ago. So we're doing the Arabic broadcast, me and brother Muhib and brother Yusuf. Muhib and I from Egypt, Yusuf from Saudi Arabia. And 3 of us are digging into that now. And I asked Muhib in our last broadcast, and last Friday, and he said, I said, do you feel guilt about not knowing these facts 40 years ago, 50 years ago? And he said, yes. Yusuf said, well, I'm just a new Christian. So obviously, he did not dig deep to get into that. He's been a Christian for his. The reality is, we as a Christian have been lazy for 40, 50 years, had access. We know where the Quran came from, but we never dig deep.
Actually, it's been known for hundreds of years. You can go back 200 years and you can find, especially German and British scholars, writing about the Quran, obviously being the things we're saying today, they were saying that 200 years ago.
But I was not there 200 years ago. I was not born. I talk about in my life.
But there's definitely room for an encyclopedia that gathers all of that in one place. That would be an amazing work, you know. Yeah. But different scholars have done their own versions of that, but I think it'd be great to have a definitive.
We have no excuse today, brothers. We have no excuse today, because we can go on show like that in an hour, and we can destroy the foundation of Islam, the Quran, by digging in, say, here's where the story come from, here's the errors in it, here's the contradiction. And there are plenty of material. Sometimes people just keep repeating the same old show. And I listen to the guy said, come on, man, dig deep, go somewhere else. Just last night, I'm recording my show, and we're talking about the legends of the Jews concerning Abraham. And according to the legend of the Jews, that Satan appeared to King Nimrod, and he told him about the creation of this, the making of the catapults, and he tried the catapults with rocks. Where in the scholars' writing of the Jewish people, they said actually a man from Iraq who came and he invented the catapults to be used to throw Abraham in the fire, because every time they tried to throw Abraham in the fire, it did not work. People get so close to the fire to throw them and they get burned. Well, guess what? A quick search on my phone. Hello, we don't have this 50 years ago. When the catapults were created, 420 after Christ. How in the world Abraham will live 1800 years before Christ, be thrown into the fire by something was not invented for another 2200 years? And in the same time, we know that these legends of the Jews written around 500 years after Christ. So now we know they have access to the catapult, and they made it like the work of the devil. Muhammad, or those who helped Muhammad to make up his Quran, they throw Abraham in the fire, which never took place. And the scholars of Islam are using a big error, which is the creation of something, the tool to throw Abraham in the fire when it did not exist. But literally 40 years ago, I could not do that. Today, I can do it by my phone, simple search online. Why can't we do that? Dig into the Quran and destroy the foundation.
Yeah, the problem is not us. The problem is the scholarship. Academia is negligent.
They should be doing the work.
I fully agree with you on this one. And secondly, Osama, to answer your first part of the question, brother, not everyone needs this information to begin with. The Muslims who are following the namaz, I mean the prayer, the roza, the fasting, the zakah, and wishing for the hajj and all, they have not studied the tafsir. They have not studied about this caterpillar thing. They are just doing the very basics. So and they are in majority. They are like 70% of them. Let's just put it this way. I'm giving them a benefit of doubt. So the
probably a lot of them haven't read the Quran in their language as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They just know the basics, right? So the people who are just doing the basics are also needed, and then the people who are doing more academic are also needed, because when the people goes from this level, then there comes the second level, tafsir, and in the tafsir they are going to pick and choose. Now you bring in the real stuff, and then you destroy the tafsir. But like, come on to the Quran itself. How does the chainmail came to David? It was created like almost 200 years after David. So Dawood basically. So how did people came to
something here? I mean,
do you know?
Sorry, just as a quick point, but Adam, to come back to something you said earlier, you are right. I mean, the work that, for instance, David Wood does, it's effective because he meets people where they are, right? This is where they are, where the majority.
There are a lot of people, a lot of other people as well, not just David Wood. There are a lot of people.
It works, right? And it works. It does work. It is effective, because even if you just look at the Quran itself, you can debunk Islam and the Quran with just the Quran alone.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, the work that we do, I guess, also adds to that, all of the historical stuff and all of the linguistic stuff and so on. But sure, you can. But I think there's more to it, because the Bible was picked apart, and we proved it true using history, using archaeology. The Bible is an archaeological tool. It is literally used by scientists to find or date or identify things, right?
It's like a Google map. Literally, if you want to go to Israel and you don't know where you're at, open the Bible. They tell you where you're at.
But the Quran, for instance, if you want to know where Mecca is, it's on the left by the palm tree, just
on
next
the right
to the
side
mountain.
of the mountain. I remember. The right side of the mountain.
I was thinking that a good project for a team of YouTubers would be to each take one surah and find all the sources in it, to divide up the work. That would be one way of doing it. But I think a lot of scholars have done the work.
I have a bunch of notes if someone wants to. When are you back, Mel? When are you coming back? Oh, no, sorry. When are you back from holiday or whatever it is?
In a few days' time.
So how about we meet? We can do something. I mean, we can talk. I've got. Yeah. You've been through the book before, but you had his previous print edition. We should use the newer one, and the sources of the Quran, and we can look at some of that and then go through that. I have some notes on that as well.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've looked at sources.
We can invite you someone. We can work through some of that, because a lot of it is from third-party Jewish and Christian fairy tales, Gnostic stories. I mean, what are Gnostic stories doing in the Quran from the 3rd and 4th century?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
I'll have to invite you for this stream. So when you're ready, we'll make some plans to do this stream.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. Yeah, yeah. That would be great.
We'll have fun. We don't need to chase rabbit now. We need to concentrate on one story or one subject, and we dig deep in it. Chasing
Sure,
rabbit is like, I love it, but it's not really the right way to do it.
Yeah, zero in on one thing. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Okay, I will look at that. I'll spend some time on that tomorrow.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I mean, yeah, Christian
It's been
Prince
great,
is a
guys.
powerhouse, but I mean, he doesn't work with anybody, right? He does his own thing.
And he's doing his own thing in his own manner, and he is doing perfect.
Agreed,
So
yeah. Agreed.
some people say that everybody has to collaborate. It's also not true. Like some people don't need to collaborate, and they are doing it in their style, and it's not possible for them to collaborate in their style because
Just
it's
remember,
hard
yeah,
to meet somebody's style in his way of doing things. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Remember what
also
Jesus said. Yeah, remember what Jesus said, as I shared earlier. Don't stop them. They're not because they're not following you, because they're not in
Yeah.
your group. No, because they are used by God to do great work. By the way, I want to defend David Wood here for a second. When we talk about David, he's simple. No, David is a very smart man. He's a very wise man. He can use all the knowledge everybody share in his simplicity. So I know David. I worked with David years ago. We actually did some TV shows in California together, and I've been watching some of his presentations. He's simple, but he's so wise too. He's so deep. He can literally beat the daylight out of me and win me in every argument. But I believe the Lord is using him the way he's doing his ministry. I mean, we don't say that that's not the effective way. Maybe in your head, but not in reality.
Yeah.
In real life,
It's
God
not-
can use people wherever they're at.
Yeah. It's not a
So-
competition, I suppose. That's the bottom line. We're not in competition. We're all in it together.
Yeah,
we
but
may
we
not
are
be able to
praising-
work as one. We may not be able to work as one team, but at least we're not in competition, because we all have our paths. and things,
Exactly.
And while we are praising David Wood, there is a critique I need to say as well, which I always say. When he is debating Muslims, he does not use the right expressions. He's always a flat face, calm, giving the argument in a very, very flat face.
Yeah.
That's not how Muslims' mind works, especially the Middle Eastern and Central Eastern and Southeasterns.
Yeah.
Adam,
Man, get
us Africans, we understand, but a lot of, shall we say, the Europeans will think that they're going to go like, how can you behave that way? That is terrible. Oh my God.
He always destroy the argument, not the emotions. And when it comes to debate with the Middle Eastern, Southeasterns, and especially Muslims, and now you said Africans as well, it's not just the solid argument. It has to have a passion in it. It has to have a voice in it. It has to have like roar in it, Unless you do that, it's like...
Adam, the louder your voice, for sure you won the debate, even if you said nothing.
Exactly. See, like
I saw two Westerners debate there the other day. Actually, that broke the mold on this. One of them was the traditional, don't say anything offensive, and the other person opened with, "You're an absolute lunatic." That was his opening line, and then he was like, jab, 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 one thing after the other. It was such a breath of fresh air. But that's what you need. You need that kind of more passionate style to win over the Muslims.
Those worlders don't respect calm logic.
No.
You first have to beat them up, grab them by the throat, and then they'll listen to you. But you first got to beat them up a little bit. It's just how it is.
Well, you will.
Sorry.
If you don't, my brother Adam, here's the facts about Middle Eastern Muslims. If you don't shake the foundation, you will never get them out of towards the end. If you talk soft and nice, they still think the other guy won because he was so passionate. And so
it's a culture that respects strength. It's honor-based culture. It is not. It's not dignity-based. It's honor-based.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that is why you see a lot of debates with David Wood where the Muslims were like, "Oh, he destroyed David Wood. He demolished David." Okay, which argument did he demolish? And then you will start working with the person and nothing was demolished. But because he did not say it in the right tone, he did not work
Yeah.
with the audience and made them clap and made them shout, and he was not loud enough, and his expression was not. He
The
lost the debate. So,
mannerisms are so important. The use of the hands and everything.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's what I tried to do personally. I confess in the last the debate David had with Daniel in Ohio. So I went to ask a question and I roused the audience a little bit. The guy who runs the debate did not like me. I said, "Hey man," afterwards I said, "I have to do what I have to do," and it was some spice on the food here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's theater, but it's necessary theater. It's the culture. It's just how it is. And it's it's not
I
one.
prayed, Lord, get me out of Egypt, and he did. Now I pray, Lord, get Egypt out of me, and he didn't.
In Africa we say you can take the man out of the bush, but you can't.
Yeah.
Which are the man's right.
And David Wood knows about it. He knows about it. Not I think a lot of people would have told him already, but he just can't change his attitude. It's just the way he is.
But Adam, when I get excited in a debate, I lose my thoughts. That's not good. I mean, either one is not. You want to have it somewhere in the middle there. Don't be so flat faced. You don't have any emotion. I don't get so much emotion. You even know what you're talking. You lose your mind, and then you have to make it up as you keep going to the debate.
Yeah, and that's why sometimes I have to stop you and jump into the debate. Because you get too passionate. You get too passionate. So yeah, too passionate is also
you lose your
not
mind.
good.
Yes.
But like at the end of the day, there has to be some kind of a balance. And when I started working with an Indian guy, an ex-Muslim Indian guy, you know him. His name is Sahil. When I used to work with him in my Urdu channels, he brought me to a very mellow side of me as well. He's the one who pushed me towards the mellow side. So before that, I was like you as well. I was like furious and all furious, all in. And then now I kind of it's like a sine wave. I go up and down. I go up and down, and it just depends.
I think
So I think it's the experience.
We need to be sensitive, Adam, to the guidance of the Holy Spirit. In Indonesia, in my 2 trips in Indonesia, when I talk to the Muslims there, they smile all the time. Not because they agree with you, it's their culture, their way of thinking. Is like, you think, wait a minute, I know the Indonesian, they like to slaughter Christian like chicken and throw their body to the fish, to feed the fish. But these guys were smiling nice to me. And if I couldn't figure out, the later my interpreter was telling me, you see, this is our culture. We respect people. They love Egyptian. The moment they know I am Masir, I am a Masri Egyptian, they love on me. It's like, you didn't even know what I'm going to tell you about your prophet, your religion, your Islam, but they are smiling. So I think we need to have the discernment of the guiding of the Holy Spirit. There's some people you need to talk calm. There's some people you need a little bit of excitement. There's some people you just don't do your own things. Let the Lord work in you like this.
Yeah, I think David Wood needs to. There's a fantastic quote by the Dalai Lama. I think it is. It's the Dalai Lama. He said, I can't remember the whole quote. I'm going to get it wrong, but he says, "Yes, we respect Islam as much as they respect Buddhists. We respect Islam as much as we respect Muslims, as much as they respect Jesus. We respect the Muslims as much as they respect the Bible." So, maybe we need to you got to bring that passion because they are unapologetic. And then we come along, hello, I'm an educated person from Europe and I don't want to be offensive. And I want to give you some boring facts. And sorry, where was I? And maybe we got to just lay it down thick because it's smackdown they want. And sometimes that's just how it is. You got to play it like that. You just got to bring the fight.
So let's close the loop on this one now. We have said a lot about David Wood. So as much as he's needed, as much as what he's doing is bringing a lot of people out, he is putting in a lot of seeds. He is doing a lot of work. At the same time, this is what happens in the debate, and he wins the logic, he wins the argument, but he is not able to win the people, and that's also important. In
he loses on the rhetoric.
Yeah.
He loses on the rhetoric.
I heard someone talk about that people are converted in different ways. Sometimes you convert people by their mind, sometimes by their emotions. We can't think it's only by the mind. We have to work on lots of different levels.
Like if you haven't watched the debate, between David Wood and John Fontaine, just watch it and you will know what I mean. John Fontaine brought up a magical Torah which
You know,
vanished right after Moses and then reappeared at the time of Jesus. And he forgot about Dawood or David, what happened at the time of David. But anyhow, it magically
yeah.
appeared at the time of Jesus. And then Injil appeared at the time of David. And then Jesus, sorry. And then Torah and Injil both magically vanished after Jesus and then reappeared in Medina at the time of Muhammad. And you could hear all that, and I think it's 1 hour 25 minutes mark where David is having a fire round, 1 hour 22 minutes 24 minutes mark. Start listening from there, and you could see his expressions. They are just so flat, like literally so flat
Yeah.
when he is
Like he
talking
doesn't
with him. It's
care.
like,
He's not interested in his own. When I watched the Muhammad Hijab debate, I was listening to his arguments and they were solid. Muhammad Hijab was talking poop, right? But David
exactly.
was just so boring in his delivery. Like there was no interest or no involvement, no passion, and you could see Muhammad Hijab was winning. Just the feeling, the
The
emotion.
rhetoric.
Yeah.
He was winning the
I
emotions,
think
and that's why Al Muslim says
Yeah.
that Muhammad Hijab won that debate, even though that Muhammad Hijab
Yeah.
did not present a single argument.
No, I mean I had to concede. Muhammad Hijab won. He was talking crap, but he won. I mean, just yeah.
I think if you were to watch the debate with the sound off, you would draw different conclusions with the sound on.
Yeah,
based on
but
the
the thing is that
expressions, the mannerisms.
I thought that David had missed opportunities to put hijab in his place, and he didn't take those opportunities. So the social cues, he missed all of those. He should have like smacked him down at certain points, and he didn't. And people don't respect that. It's just like it looks weak. When I was in
the second round,
let's compare what's happened between David and Muhammad Hijab, and say James White talking to a Muslim in an interfaith meeting. I mean, I'd love to sit and learn from David, the sleepy guy who you don't like, than to listen to James White, who's actually leading the audience to Islam.
Yeah, I had respect for James White a few years ago. He's changed quite a bit.
Brother, if he called me Osama bin Laden, you don't need any more talk about it. He think I am like Osama bin Laden because he believes that Yasser Qadi is his mentor and he is his teacher who taught him Islam. I mean, that's over for me. He kissed Osama goodbye.
Yeah, but the problem is, I mean, Osama, we've discussed this. Theologically, if you look at the basis of Calvinism and their concept of God, in fact, it's even within Luther's writings. It's explicit in Luther, and Calvin says the same thing. They have exactly the same Asharite Kalam belief, the voluntarist belief that Muslims have. There is no difference. You can see it in Luther's writings, it's in Calvin's. So their concept of God, or at least that Calvinist concept of God, is identical to the Muslim concept of God, which is not the Christian one. So their loyalty lies to the Muslims in that sense, and that's what the question is.
To the point, you're absolutely right. To the point that James used 2 Corinthians 4:4 to say, I am wrong. When I said the God of this world is Satan, I was wrong because 2 Corinthians 4:4 talk about the God of the Bible, not Satan. And when I heard him say that some Muslims sent me that video to prove that I was wrong and James White is right, I almost fell from a chair. You could not find any Christian, not theologian or anybody else, who agree with him but if a God or Allah leads astray whom He wills, and He God whom He wills, you got Islam victorious there.
So the last one he said, this comment. This is a good comment. Things like this is because we are missing education in rhetoric. We really need to come back to German logic. And no, the problem is not this. You need to know your opponent. You need to understand your opponents. If you do not understand your opponent and the mindset of your opponent, you will never be able to have the right tools to fight your opponent. So logic, data, and education is necessary in a debate. But at the same time, there is a tool of rhetoric which the other party is using. If you are not going to use that tool, you are going to be not the same as in level, as in power. So you have to use all the tools that you have in your hand.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you are debating with somebody who is not using the rhetorics, perfect. You are not supposed to use it as well. Don't use it. But if the other person is using 90% rhetoric and you are only working on the data, the listeners will not be able to comprehend it because the listeners are used to listening rhetoric. So you have to use maybe 25% rhetoric at that particular time, expressions and all of these things. Look at the debate with the what is this called, Daniel Hakikachu. He started his debate with God Logic by calling him a artistic person or something like that. What did he call him to begin with?
Autistic, is it?
No, not artistic.
Autistic?
Yes, yeah, autism and artistic. So he started from there. His presentation, the second page of his presentation was God Logic is this is the artism of Christianity or artism of Christians and all that kind of stuff. That's where he started from. So, and in all of his debate till the very end, he did not leave that particular aspect. So why is it that a person is starting his debate with a rhetoric and providing something in the middle, maybe 20%, you are not even using it for just a little while? You have to come to the power so that the people who are listening will understand that the tone, the language, that's why it matters. It matters a lot.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a form of theater. It's not a strict logical argument that's happening in debate. You know, real debates
exactly.
It's in the theater. What Muslims learn, they've been doing it for over 1,000 years. They call it adab al-jadal, right? Yeah. It's a
adabul dajjal. Adabul dajjal. Some other doggy. That's what he said.
Adabul jadal. Whatever. So yeah, but it's a method. It is a form of theater. It's meant to be convincing. It's not meant to be. It's not meant to seek truth. It's meant to be persuasive.
Yeah.
Well, look, if you
that's so the people who does not know, adab means what do you call it in English is hey Osama, give me the English of adab so that people who would know that, because he just stated in Arabic. Adab is method.
Sunnah.
Method. Adab is method, and Dajjal is lying. So method of lying. So
literally, Jadal. It's controversies.
You are talking about Adabul Jadal. Jadal, and then
arguments.
Yeah, arguments.
Is to be polite. You will be polite in your argument.
Yeah.
So, and then there's Adabul Dajjal as well. The lying as well. So you see, it is how you actually do this. You know, this is like there is a proper adab, there is a proper methodology that has been created by the Islamic scholars in the very early Islam age, within 200 years, how to have an argument with the non-Muslims. And they tell you how to lie in that method, because the subcategory is the Dajjal shape of it, or ilmul hayal. Hayal comes from the word hila, which means in English, what does hila means? Hayal is
but so here we got adab is a synonym of hiyal, which is a stratagem of war.
Thank you.
They are doing a stratagem of war. It says here hiyal, adab al-jadal.
Hiyal is it the type of deception like the fox?
Deception. Thank you.
Deception. Yeah. Let me actually just find hila. See if we can find it.
The fox is the best creature you can learn about hiyal from him. You see, remember the fox where he wear a suit like a doctor and he went to check on the chicken, and then the baby of the chicken saw the tail come out of the jacket in the back. That's when they figured out it was actually a fox, not a doctor. You know what?
Here we go.
Cartoon, man.
Okay, so artifice, a strategy, the means of evading a thing, of how to evade answering, to avoid answering, to run rings, okay? And to effect an object, tricks, circumventing the law. Legal devices, the use of legal means for illegal ends. And in military science, it's a technical term for strategies of war.
Thank you so very much.
Because war is deception. That's why Muhammad said it's lawful to lie to your enemy in war, because war is deception.
And then the war is by the tongue. So we are talking about the war lisan, the jihad bil lisan, the war of the tongue. So this is the reality.
Yeah.
One thing I would recommend taking from someone like GoldLogic is his technique is to lead by questioning the Muslim, rather than trying to present your evidence. Ask them the question. Put it back on them. I heard him say that at in London at a conference there last summer.
Uses logic traps. Uses logic traps.
I'm not one for debating. I'm actually pretty bad. But I went to Speaker's Corner and I had a debate with a Muslim who's been doing dawah for years, and it's up there on the internet. But I hardly spoke. I think I probably spoke for 5 minutes of the hour, and that guy was like squirming and running and like floundering for for however long we were debating. And it was all because all I was just asking very straightforward questions, and he didn't have answers. And then he was contradicting himself, and then I was jumping in to point out the contradictions. So I think that works really well. But bringing in the emotion and the mannerisms and all that is also really key, especially a formal debate.
I think one of the David Wood videos where he explained a book, I forgot the name of the book at this moment, and he explained the 5
tactics?
rules of debate, tactics, 5 tactics of debate if you do not know about Islam. And he talked about these 5 type of questions, how to do that. It was like, 15 minutes of a video, and he explained it to the people who does not know about Islam to just talk with them in this manner. And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
But
I think that all of that stuff should be brought together for a conference.
Mal, just to vindicate you for a second, we have more viewers on this stream that I literally announced 5 minutes before we went live than Thaddeus does.
Oh, yes. Sorry, Thaddeus. Sorry, not sorry.
God is good. God is good.
Yeah.
I mean, so the cultural thing, we need to understand that as well. But then again, Mel, I mean, you are a researcher. I'm a researcher. I mean, it's different. I don't have the temperament really for debates. I've spoken to people, but I don't. Personally, I mean, my background, I mean, look, I worked security, and my job was to avoid, not engage, right? To prevent, not deal with issues, to predict, not to deal with problems. And I mean, if I was going to engage, I was going to grab the guy by the throat and punch him in the face off camera.
I can see you do that. Look.
I'm sorry, man.
Stop, man. Don't do it. I
mean, my job is to shut people down real fast before anything happens.
I got a different, Brother Lloyd. I got a different view. I work as a painter all my life. I like to cover people with paint, change your color, change your appearance. I can fix it a little bit and cover it with paint, make it look good.
Yeah, so I mean, I have the temperament for that. If I'm gonna get into a tussle, I'm just gonna finish it. I'm gonna cut you off at the knees.
That's not how Christ wants us to do ministry.
So for me to go for like 2 hours with someone and talk, it's like why didn't I just end it right now?
Right now before we start? Let's get it out. Over with.
So yeah, I mean, it takes. I mean, I respect the guys that can do it, that do have the personality and the training for it, because it's not easy. I don't think it's easy.
You know what? I think Chris from Speaker's Corner is an absolute pro. He never loses the cool. He's Mr. Ice, but he zeroes in on the weak points and he just keeps chipping away. He's a master of it, and so quick.
Yeah. No, there's some good guys. I mean, look. But look. I mean, I get invited to their monthly talks, but I opt personally not to go. I just feel it's not my place to be there. I've got my own space. So I'm happy where I am. So I mean, we can all find our own place. We don't have to smear and slander other people just because we disagree. I think we can respect the good that they do. Sure, we can critique. We're human, okay? We're not perfect. But I don't think we spend the rest of our lives 5, 10, 15 hours a week talking about that person. That's just, I don't think it's right.
Yeah, and funny enough, I'm not going to share any private emails, but it's interesting that the same individuals now smear me. A few months ago, I thought it was a few years ago, but it must be a few months ago. He was begging to come onto my channel, having been sacked, to bring attention to his doxing, and I was like, well, I wish you well, but I don't I don't want to be associated with someone who is being sacked for Islamophobia. Not that I'm particularly against Islamophobia, but at the time I was like, I don't really want to have the that, and I don't know if that's part of he's now turning against me. I don't know, but it's just interesting how quick people turn.
Yeah,
change,
we can all want someone to do better. Granted, I think we all have advice for other people, but you know what? None of us is perfect. Someone has advice for us, as much as we have advice.
You need to speak to yourself, okay? I am so perfect that one time I made a mistake because I thought I made a mistake. I was right to start with.
Your sound is gone, I think.
Yeah, no, I was just lost.
No, it is out of words. He cannot even take it back.
It is better to be silent, and silence is golden.
Yeah. It's hard to be humble when you're perfect in all the ways.
Man. I mean, look, in every field, I mean, each one of us is an expert on something. I mean, so
I'm so humble. I'm expert in everything.
Adam, I love you, bro.
I'm one of the most humble people in the whole wide world.
Mashallah, mashallah, mashallah. Nobody can be more humble than me, mashallah.
Yeah, in fact, in my ashram, when I was a Buddhist, my master was saying I was the most humble of all the students there. So,
Hey, did you see my medallia? I used to have my medallia, the most humble of the year, but I don't have it today.
Hey, that's with me now. You lost it.
Oh,
they're probably going to make. They're probably going to make a short from what we've just been saying and say, "Look, the egos on these guys."
If that is made as a short, then it will be awesome. That shows their mentality. Then.
Yeah, before you hang the medallion around your neck, you lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, we've all lengthened our line. I got good at something. Mal got good at something. Adam got good at something. Usama got good at something. We each have our strengths. We worked on our strengths. We didn't stop and insult someone else and spend weeks and days and months on it. We lengthened our line. We didn't try to shorten the other guy's line, try to cut his line, try to make his line less. We just said, you know what? To make his line shorter, I'm going to make my line long. Focus on your success, not trying to ruin the other guy. And I think the focus is wrong. And I think we...
Yeah.
I mean, Adam, I'm sure you've got people that give you a hard time, who gave you a hard time, and I think you just were the bigger man, right? As well.
Yeah, there's so many who goes against me. Even I receive emails and all, and at the end of the day, I ask them a simple question. I understand your point of view, but are you doing what I'm doing? If not, then do it. And once you do it at the level what I'm doing, come back and tell me.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
because like no matter who you actually pick up, if you have done the same kind of research, same kind of work, same kind of thing for that long, let's pick up Jay Smith. Let's pick up the example of Jay Smith. Have you done that kind of a research?
No.
The amount that Jay Smith have done,
the stuff in his memory alone, that he speaks from memory, is crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think if someone like that who's trying to remember huge quantities of information, if he makes a mistake, surely we could cut him a bit of slack. I would be the first to put my hand up saying I have a brutal memory. I don't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, So, we all have strengths and weaknesses, and we shouldn't just say that because someone has slipped up, that means they are devious. This is the smear that the from one flight over a cuckoo's nest.
Every one of us, when we are doing debate, not always that we have the verses of the Quran in front of us or the historical things in front of us. We are going through the memory, and sometimes every one of us at some point, at some location, at some time, we might have said something incorrect. It doesn't mean it was intentional. Most of the times, even my viewers, because when I go live in my Urdu channels, usually I have like over
But
2,000
on the
viewers.
other
So
hand, Adam,
they will say
but
something.
on-
They will say something, and I'll apologize. Oh, sorry.
because
Thank you
Yeah.
for correcting
but
me.
on
Right?
the other hand, when Muslims lie, they're lying on purpose. They
Mm.
know what they're telling are not true, but they say it and repeat in different words, try to convince people by repeating their lies, and they know they're lying.
Jesus was a Muslim. Accidental lie.
Amen. Hey, brother,
Alhamdulillah. Send
hey,
ham to
brother,
the Allah because
Lloyd,
the dog of Allah is hungry.
Take
can you
beer
share
with
with
that
us?
ham, okay? Take beer with the
Yeah,
ham.
Take
brother Lloyd,
beer. Take beer.
yeah,
Alhamdulillah.
so Akbar Azim. Hey, Lloyd, before we leave, because I think we're getting close to one dot here, can you share with us and our wonderful audience about your special drink, the camel, whatever you have in your hand? What is that?
Camel urine without milk?
Just so you guys know,
Dry,
okay?
dry camel urine. He mixed it with water and give him the bottle. He drink out of it all the time.
This is good stuff. It's called Voda Jrudlana Gazavana. So
I
That
didn't hear the
means
word
that
camel
means the
yet.
mixture of camel urine with elephant urine.
I don't want to disagree with Adam because Adam's an expert.
On that.
In everything. In everything. With a humble
Including the
medallion.
camel urine.
Except I know when Adam is humbled. His wife comes along and says, huh?
And
then
I'm so
Adam is-
humble at that time.
Yeah, he goes in like a lion, he comes out like a lamb.
Absolutely. He learned. He knows, this is how it is in the West. See?
Yeah,
My,
see,
my,
that-
my previous 4 wives, he cannot say a word to me where I come from in Egypt. Here, I can't even say hello to her. I say, excuse me, can I say hello this morning? Oh, okay. Hello, honey.
that is why Allah said, beat them. You Christians, you made the wives go strong on you know?
Hey, Adam, try to beat your wife one time and tell me where you sleeping, man, in the garage or outside in the car. Just let me know.
I am
the car, probably.
disappointed why you guys aren't more serious, It's like, what?
That is good. That's good. I enjoyed the show today. It was fun. We chased some rabbit. We shared some truths, and good to meet with you, brother Mel. And
you too.
I've not talked with Adam for some time now, but it's good to be with Adam as well.
Always
That
good.
was awesome.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We'll do
Great
some
to see you
soon.
guys.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a short talk with Mal just before my meeting with Usama, but thank you for coming, Adam. Really, I'm grateful.
It was just a miraculous way that it was supposed to happen today.
Yeah, so this
Amen.
was
It's
great.
been long. All right, guys. I think that's it. So wish you all the best, and I'll
you.
catch you guys soon.
Yeah.
And remember, we gotta do this. You gotta, when your presentation is ready, let me know.
I'll work on
We'll
it.
make some
We'll
plans
be
to
in
do that.
touch. We'll be in touch.
Absolutely.
I'll be in touch with Mel. So, Usama, we can maybe catch up tomorrow or something.
Sure. No problem.
Yeah, because my
All right,
clock
guys.
was moved, so I'm 1 hour ahead now. So my time has changed on Saturday. So, guys, thank you very much. Then we'll call it a night, and thank you all very much. God bless. Thanks, Mel.
Thank you,
It's been
guys.
really great to have fantastic conversation.
No,
Thanks.
thank you. That was brilliant.
Allahu Akbar wa Yeshua Akbarul Azim.
Thanks, guys.